Investigation resume.
Well...
I kind of wonder if... Because I want to investigate that dog statue, right? If she got stabbed in the back of the neck, the floor looks suspicious, right? But what if there was something in the dog statue that stabbed her? Through the cage, through the cloth, perhaps. I feel like we would have noticed, but it's, you know, something to think about, I guess. It's too dark in here. We can't investigate even if we wanted to.
Got it.
Go to bring candles from other room to make this room bright, okay?
No.
That won't be necessary.
Ah.
That's not necessary at all.
Huh?
Why?
Listen up!
Show him, Kibo. Show him your new power. Please let me click. I click. Okay, there we go. New power?
His eyes lit up!
Whoa, he's got headlights.
I, Muiruma, the gorgeous girl genius, have installed a new function in Kibo.
Just leave it to me. I will become the guiding light that shines on you all.
Help, I'm blind.
Shine on, shine on! Shine on, you crazy fucking diamond!
He's so proud of himself.
Oh, man.
What a lame function. You should have made him like a transformer or something.
It's okay.
But it's bright now, so we should hurry and investigate.
Okay.
Yeah, you're right. Kibo's flashlight function. How is that gonna come up in the trial, I wonder?
Leave it to me.
I will become the guiding light that shines on you all. Alright. Fair enough. So, yeah, we got a couple things to investigate in here. There's a small opening in the corner of the room. It doesn't look big enough for a person to get through, but still.
Is this...
A hole? Looks like there's space under here too. Oh, hold on. I can see something below. It looks like something dropped down there. What? Something dropped down there?
Got a minute?
After we check everywhere else, why don't we go under the floor and see for ourselves?
Okay.
Right. Let's do it. This is gonna be like all... You can probably move under the floor, I'm sure. We got weird writing in the wall. That writing was different before, wasn't it? I think it was. What's that say? Like 7777 or 9 or something? Candles hung in the walls. They're the only source of light in the room. There are no windows in this room, so without the candles it was pitch black. But how did the culprit kill Tinko in complete darkness? Probably in a somewhat similar way that the culprit killed the last person in the last game. Anyway, dog statue. It's the wooden dog statue used in the seance. Yeah, I can see the writing in the wall now. It's like 9777. I believe it's called the Dog God. During the seance, this wooden statue was on top of the cage. It took 4 of us to remove it. Sorry, I'm getting a little bit tired here. Hoping we'll finish up before long. This wooden statue is pretty heavy.
If I remember correctly...
Kyo said it was about 175 pounds. That's about the weight of 2 girls.
What?
What do you know about girls? Have you even touched a woman besides your mother? What?
I'm kidding.
Anyway,
Is this...
if this heavy thing was on top of the cage, then Tinko wouldn't have been able to get out easily.
Okay.
Yeah, you're right about that. That didn't sound like you were kidding earlier. So rude. It's It's the white sheet we used for the seance. It was placed on top of the cage. Kiyo was the one who removed it.
Is this...
This cloth is pretty thick. It's similar to a window curtain, but it's completely opaque. And on the back. Look, there's a blood stain on it, right around the middle of the sheet. But no hole in the fabric. Okay, so yeah, nothing stabbed through the fabric, it looks like. Which means Tenko wasn't stabbed through this cloth.
Okay.
She was stabbed while underneath the cloth. But that's an important note, though, I'm pretty sure. It's the magic circle Kiyo drew on the floor. Well, at least it was.
Oh dear.
It's been completely stomped over. I suppose it was unavoidable.
Well...
Was this drawn with salt?
Yes.
Whenever I perform a seance, I always use salt.
What?
Are you feeling alright? You sound ridiculous.
Ridiculous.
I have performed many successful seances. Why, I've even had spirits enter my body.
I'm right already.
Shut up. I don't want to hear about your stupid delusions. Maki really doesn't beat around the bush. It's kind of refreshing, actually.
But
In any case, with all these footprints, I can't make out the original circle.
So what?
We'll find out in Kiyo's lab. It should be written in the Caged Dog Village document.
Hey,
Isn't that right, Kiyo? He seems depressed. I suppose that makes sense. No, crap, that wasn't what I wanted to look at. There we go. So we get the iron cage, which looks like the blood spattered through the cage and then hit the sheet, even though it didn't actually pierce the sheet. It's probably important. This is the cage used in the seance.
is this...
It looks to be around 3 feet high and 5 feet wide. It's a pretty large iron cage.
okay,
Big enough for a person to fit inside. Oh, excuse me again. Yeah, I'm getting pretty tired. During the seance, Kokichi and I covered Tenko with the cage. We were supposed to remove it as well. But it was Himiko who rushed in and removed the cage first.
Hey,
Hey, look at this.
is this...
A bloodstain on the bottom of the cage. Probably Tenko's blood, yeah?
That's true.
Yeah, I imagine so. This spatter must have been made when she was killed.
What do you mean?
Which means Tenko was killed while she was inside the cage.
okay.
I think you're right. Tenko went under the cage before the seance. But when the cage was lifted after the seance, she was already dead.
Then...
If she was stabbed right when the cage was lifted, that would explain this bloodstain, right?
Huh?
Perhaps she wasn't killed during the seance, but the exact moment the cage was lifted. That is a possibility. Is it really? As she flipped up the cage, she quickly stabbed her? I don't know. That seems pretty unrealistic. There's a rock next to Tenko's body. This must be... Please rest your forehead upon this stone marker I've placed here. It's just a stone I brought from the courtyard. Are you sure it'll work? Certainly. It is merely needed as a marker for her forehead to rest upon. That is kinda suspicious now that you think about it. Almost like it's a pretty good marker in a totally dark room that you could use to figure out exactly where she's gonna be laying. Interesting. Like this? Tenko had her forehead on this rock, hunched over. She had to make herself small to fit inside the cage. That's actually quite suspicious, now that I think about it. Tenko's dead body. She took her last breath crouched over like this. According to the Monokuma file, her only injury is the stab wound to her neck. This wound was fatal. This must have caused instant death. I didn't hear a scream during the seance. Wait. Understood. I will not say a word until the seance is over. She's an idiot. Would Tenko really keep her mouth shut despite the pain?
Nope.
Her death might not have been instant, but she couldn't have gone far before she bled out.
Huh?
What do you mean?
What's the point?
You were concerned about that, right?
Okay.
With a wound this deep, the victim is too shocked to do anything except die. You're speaking from experience?
That's obvious.
Of course. Quick deaths are my specialty. Well then. That makes sense.
By the way,
The real question is, what was she killed with? I don't see a murder weapon around. Please let me click. Okay. You're right. I don't see an obvious murder weapon. That could be a clue. And the crooked floorboard, of course, that's the suspicious part. Ah, this floorboard is loose. And it's the one right under Tenko.
why?
Why is this floorboard loose?
If I remember correctly,
It wasn't like this before. It must have come loose during the seance.
Why?
Why would it come loose during the seance?
but
A floorboard this thick and heavy wouldn't have come loose easily. Then someone must have loosened it on purpose. I think that's it. Maybe the hole in the corner again? No, not the iron cage. Alright, can we check it now? I think that's like everything, right? Can't look at her blood stain. There's a rock. Iron cage, I think. Is that not it? Maybe I gotta talk to the people in the room. That kind of makes sense, actually.
Oh, man.
You should have been like a transformer. Is there anything else to look at? As far as I know, I've looked at pretty much everything in the room. All it's really left is the people in the room, or possibly leaving the room? No, people in the room. This investigation is over and shut. And it's all thanks to me for giving Kibo his new function. Now then. One of you stupid idiots who signed up to do this crap seance in the first place.
no.
No, not necessarily.
Huh?
Seriously? The seance is clearly set up to lure her in and kill her. How could someone who wasn't in the room kill her?
Could it be?
So you believe that Tenko was killed during the seance?
Fucking moron!
There's no other possibility, idiot. God, you don't even know that. It's true that Tenko was alive before the seance began. This is the point of no return, Tenko. After this point, you mustn't speak. The next time you open your mouth, it will be Angie speaking through you. Understood. I will not say a word until the seance is over. Tenko answered Kyo, so at that point she was most certainly alive. Unless, of course, our friend with a recording function played back a little message. I'm gonna be pretty suspicious of him for, like, ever now, I think. But when the candles were relit, she had already been killed. That means she was killed in the dark. I'm positive. What time exactly was Tenko killed after the lights were blown out? That may be an important point in this case. What do you know about this, Kyo?
That cannot be.
Why did this?
I knew it.
Kyo, I know the murder was pretty shocking.
But of course.
I am shocked about that as well. But why did the seance fail? We performed all of the steps flawlessly. He seems more concerned by that than the murderer.
Ah, yes.
If we perform the caged child again and summon Tenko's spirit this time...
This is stupid.
Cut the crap. Just tell me what happened during the seance. Both you and Shuichi were present, right? Did she get killed during the seance?
I see, yes.
True, it may be best to move past what happened to know why the seance failed.
Is that so?
Whatever, just hurry up. At the time, in order to begin the seance, we had Tenko, the spiritual medium, position herself as a turtle within the magic circle, so her head touched the marker stone. Then Shuichi and Kokichi placed the cage over Tenko. After that, I placed the white cloth over the cage. Then all four of us placed the wooden statue of the dog god atop the cage. Afterwards, we stood in the four corners of the room. Kokichi and Shuichi blew out the candles.
Yes.
Finally, we all sang the caged child song. The seance should have been complete, but...
Ah!
And here's another possibility, right? We could probably say an alibi for one of the people was them singing, like they had to have been in the room, but what if, once again, Kibo's recording and playback ability allowed him to copy one of the voices, who was then able to possibly sneak away in some way. I'm not exactly sure how, but they were able to sneak away somehow and then commit the murder and then sneak back. Ah, now that you mention it, I remember hearing a strange sound during the song. Let's ignore that. It is a mystery to me as well. I thought someone may have tripped, perhaps. That was a pretty loud sound for someone tripping. Perhaps Kyo knows something.
What do you mean?
And then what happened?
Yes.
We called out to her, but no reply came. I had Shuichi and Kokichi relight the candles. Then we removed all the items from within the magic circle in the opposite order. First, all four of us removed the dog god statue. Next, I took off the white cloth, and then... Himiko ran over to the cage in the moment she lifted it. Then it sounds like Tenko is definitely killed during the seance.
No.
But would not be difficult in such would it not be difficult in such darkness? Besides, she was inside the cage, yes. Then when was she killed?
Well, that's...
Yes, that is a problem.
I see, yes.
There is another problem.
How?
And that is, why ever did the seance fail? I mean, presumably your medium has to be alive, right? That might be why it failed. Usually while performing the ritual, the medium doesn't die, I'd say. I simply cannot figure it out.
Perhaps.
Maybe someone moved from their corner. Did someone else sneak in here?
What's the point?
Obviously, since the seance was clearly a sham. Maki never was one to pull her punches. Alright.
Hey!
Maki, will we finish investigating up here? Perhaps we should check under the floor.
By the way,
It seems pretty dark down there. What should we use for a light?
That's true.
Let's bring a candle. With Kibo's light from up here, that should be fine.
Okay.
Then I'll go get a candle. Remove that floorboard so we can go down.
Okay.
Okay, got it. I pulled off some of the floorboards near the hole and took the candle from Maki. Then we carefully made our way through the hole and under the floor. It's a lot more spacious than I thought. You can move pretty easily on all fours.
Okay.
Let's look around for clues.
Well,
It'd look pretty stupid if we found no clues after crawling around in this dusty space.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, there's blood. Blood dripping from the gaps in the floorboards. Please let me click. Fresh blood. This is definitely Tenko's. It's just like slightly aggravating. Now, why is there dried blood here? There's a blood stain on the ground underneath the loose floorboard. But that's pretty far from where Tenko's blood is dripping down. It's under the same floorboard, just at different ends. Why is there blood here?
hey,
Hey, the back of this floorboard has blood on it too.
Ah,
You're right. There's a little bit of blood on the underside of this floorboard.
what do you mean?
Did Tenko's blood splatter here when she got killed?
that's true.
I wonder. I can't really be sure yet.
Okay.
But these bloodstains here are completely dry. There must be some reason these particular stains are dry. So, my guess would be that someone, once they knew that the seance was going to be in the middle room, they then tried to crawl under the floor and maybe cut themselves while trying to remove a board. Maybe. Perhaps? Not sure. Ooh, it's pretty spooky down here. Bloody sickle. There's a sickle here, and there's blood all over it.
Okay.
The blood in the sickle is fresh. This is it. This is the murder weapon.
Is this...
This came from my research lab.
Huh?
It did?
well,
A sickle can be used to assassinate a target. It can be thrown without losing any lethality, and you can hide it under your clothes too.
Well,
If she was attacked with this, she wouldn't stand a chance. The blade is about 6 inches,
that's right.
and since Tenko is in the cage, she wouldn't have been able to defend herself.
but
But even if this is our murder weapon, how did the culprit attack Tenko in the cage? The blade could fit through the gaps in the cage, but could it reach her neck?
That's true.
The cage is 3 feet high. If you were to stab into it with a 6-inch blade, well, it would depend on Tenko's posture, but I don't think it's impossible. Then her posture's the question.
Hey,
If the weapon is down here, the culprit must have thrown it away, right?
that's true.
Perhaps after killing Tenko, the culprit threw the sickle under the floor in the dark. Or they could have been under the floor the entire time. Either of those is possible. So yeah, this leads to one of the other rooms, I'm sure. Some of the wood is corroded and is broken off, so you can see into the next room.
hey,
This is the wall of the empty room, right? Looks like there's wood along the wall. This part is rotted away. Looks like natural rot. This hole wasn't made intentionally. But I can get into the next room through here.
that's true.
If I remember correctly, the room next door is also empty, right? And the culprit could have gone from room to room by moving under here instead of using the hallway.
No.
True, but it would have been difficult moving around under the floor. We did alright because we had a light. Without that, it'd be pitch black. That might make it impossible to move around in there.
Nope.
Then they could have used a light, like we're doing right now.
Well,
True. They used the light to move around under the floor. Is that possible? So can we go into the next room? Okay. Oh, cut. Oh, yeah, cut crosspiece. Maybe when they were cutting it, they cut themselves, I guess? Look, part of the crosspiece that supports the floorboard is cut off.
That's true.
It's near the loose floorboard, and the portion missing is about the same width, too. And from what I can see of it,
That's true.
it wasn't broken off naturally. This was cut by someone. There should be saws in the warehouse, so they could have used that. The question is, why? Another crosspiece is supporting the floorboard, so it might not follow if this portion is missing.
Then...
So what purpose did this serve? The floorboard underneath Tinko's body is loose, and the crosspiece supporting it has been cut. If the culprit did all of this, then why? I wonder almost if it was like to throw us off. I think we're finished.
Is that alright?
Maki, you want to head back up? Glad you asked. I was starting to get fed up with all this dust. After Maki and I crawled out from under the floor, we put the floorboards back. And returned to our investigation.
By the way,
We've only been investigating this room. You sure that's wise?
Huh?
What do you mean?
because...
If Angie and Tinko have different killers, then the Blacken we need to vote for is
You're right.
the culprit for the first murder. The culprit who killed Angie. That's what Monokuma said.
Then...
So instead of investigating Tinko's death, shouldn't we be investigating Angie's?
Okay.
Yes, of course.
But
But this is bigger than the killing game. For the sake of the two who died, I need to reveal the truth of both of their deaths. Well, I understand why you feel that way. But if you plan on investigating the other crime scene again, we should probably hurry. But see, I wonder if the reason they killed her... Like, it seems like it's probably the same person, right? I'm wondering if the reason they killed her is because she knew too much? Or they were worried that the seance would work and that Angie would, you know, talk about what happened? Maybe. Anyway, when I came to the hallway, a scene more surprising than I could ever imagine unfolded. Lockpick.
It's a lie!
Please. My face went. Did I surprise you? Or are you gonna say it's a lie? Or are you gonna scream and cry and tear? You should have seen the look on my face. This would have been an amazing point for a webcam. I just like had this exasperated look on my face. But it's kind of funny now. Or are you gonna scream and cry in terror?
huh?
What are you doing?
Oh?
Oh, sorry. Just a little lightheaded from the blood loss. Yeah, this is real blood.
Why?
Okay, so what are you doing? I got curious about something, so I decided to search the empty room next door. Then suddenly, I stepped through the floorboard.
Huh?
You stepped through a floorboard?
That's so mean.
Jeez, they got me good. Because of this, I tripped and fell pretty hard. Something suspicious about that. I don't know. If you're gonna lose consciousness, do it after you tell us everything. Oh, sorry, my bad. I guess there was no crosspiece supporting this floorboard, so I kinda stepped through. What bad luck. The crosspiece was gone? Does that mean... Uh-oh.
Huh?
Alright, so they clearly went from one room to the next. That's pretty obvious from that.
Confidence. Dreams. That's what the killing game is all about. Killing game fans, hold your head high and watch with your own two eyes. Baseball, soccer, mobile games, they're all nothing compared to the killing game. The killing game just can't be beat. Behold, students, the entrance to the trial grounds.
I guess time's up.
Oof.
Aw, man. It's because of you guys. I didn't have enough time to check something.
Huh?
What were you trying to check?
See?
I wanted to re-research the seance again, so I brought this document with me. But unfortunately,
Man.
I couldn't find anything new that could be used as a clue. Kyo perfectly reenacted the seance as what was written in the document. He drew the magic circle the exact same way as this picture. Not only that, he used the exact same tools too. Nothing suspicious about this whole thing. Well, I wanted to check the finer details, but I'll tell you about it later. He doesn't look like he's about to pass out. At the class trial, so see you there. Kokichi left, the blood loss clearly affecting his footing a bit. Bloody Kokichi. He looks happy. Let's go too.
That's true.
Yeah, okay. Is Maki nervous? I see. So even she gets nervous sometimes.
Do you want to die?
What are you staring at? Alright. Killing game is a go. And trial is a go too, I suppose. This is shaped up to be quite an interesting one. I know they did that in the first game, where they had two people killed in the same go. Did they do that in the second game? I don't think they did, but maybe they did. But they definitely did it in the first game, where one person killed two other people. And then there's Kokichi dead. I'm not entirely surprised that that was a big joke by him, though. That was actually kind of funny. Alright, well, obviously, coming up soon, we've got a trial coming up. We're going to be doing a stream again for that. I do want to mention that I mentioned this for the last stream I did. I did a Higurashi. We're going to be using Discord for future stream chat. It's gonna make it a bit easier. It allows us to post links, which is something that is a little bit annoying about YouTube chat. Like I can't allow anyone but myself to post links. And that's the annoying thing. Like, I wish I could approve someone to post a link. That would be, you know, one thing. If I could, like, approve someone to actually post a link, but I can't even do that. So we're going to start using Discord. Look in the description. I'm going to post a link to the Discord. A few people have joined it already. I posted it on the recorded video from the last stream. I made the Discord already. Feel free to join and, you know, post some messages if you want. I've got the rules listed up there. And other than that, we're going to start the trial soon. I'm kind of thinking about Saturday again. Saturday might work out well for us. Which I know is it's like 5 days from now. It's like a couple days, but it'll give me some time to relax after that last stream. Because I can't, you know, the other option would be a Tuesday, and I don't really want to jam it all together like that. So, we'll probably do Saturday. evening. Same time, same place. I'll put out an announcement once I'm sure of it. So anyway, thanks for watching. If you want to join the chat for the next stream or for future streams, join the Discord. And I hope you guys enjoyed. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time for some more Danganronpa V3. Bye!